Welcome back, my low subscribers. Today we're talking Tamron 70-180 video and photo examples at the zoo, having my own safe safari. Go ahead and join me. Let's check out these pictures. So if you've been following my channel, you know that I've had this lens for about a year. I've used it in portraiture and weddings, and I can't say anything but good things about this lens. I love it so much that one time I wasn't even careful enough and I was an idiot, dropped it, broke it at the mount, had to get it repaired, and the journey continues from there. But from what I can say, just big picture, this is a great lens. It's a great price. It's light. It's compact. Great autofocus. Great sharpness. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck, as they say. When you compare it to what a G Master offers at almost, I think it's more than double the price. And coming from a background of, starting with Sony when the system was very new for full frame, we didn't have all the fast zooms, and when they did come out, they were G Masters. They were very expensive, and if you were starting off like I was, you didn't have the funds to, buy the right one that you needed with the proper autofocus. So I spent a lot of time and money adapting lenses from Canon Tamron Sigma, from the Canon mount, and thank God they finally made this lens. So really quick, the reason I go to the zoo and I'm showing you zoo samples is because I really think that going to the zoo gives you a very unique experience with a telephoto lens. And I've done this with every telephoto lens I've ever gotten. I go straight to the zoo because this allows me to shoot in different lighting conditions, through glass, through fencing. It allows me to see the pros and cons of the autofocus system, how well it's tracking a subject. You're seeing it in action, and I'd rather test it at a place like this where you have a variety of animals that behave either skittish or some are more lazy or sleepy. You get a variety of environments that really test out the lens, and I think it's very useful to try something out at the zoo or a similar environment before you use it in a professional setting. Of course, you can do practice portraits and stuff like that, but this is also fun for me, and whenever I get a really good shot, I like to print it, put it in my home. So moving on, just a quick, my setup was an A7R3. I was shooting in silent shutter for the whole time. I went into crop mode several times just to get more reach, but also cut down on the megapixels since it's more of a practice and it's for fun. But with an R series from the Sony, you get a lot of flexibility because this lens is very sharp and you can always crop out what you don't need. So keep that in mind. It's a pro. So as you see from the samples, I've actually never done this many video samples. And I actually shot this at 60p 1080. I had to slow it down to 50%. I didn't have a gimbal or a monopod. I want it to be as light as possible. So shooting at a higher frame rate and slowing down is usually a very good backup option. I would prefer to shoot at 120, which I didn't think of in the moment, but next time I'll keep that in mind. But anyway, as you'll see, there's good shots. Of course, I'm like hand-holding, so it's not the smoothest. This isn't no National Geographic shot. But you can kind of see how the tracking and the autofocus is catching on to the subject. And I would say it's pretty fast and it sticks. So that's what you want to look for in a telephoto lens, because it's very critical when you're at the far zoom range that your subject is actually being tracked efficiently, and it's the autofocus isn't getting thrown off by leaves or branches or whatever's in front or nearby the main subject. I got to use some of the animal autofocus, not so much animal, more like the cat mode, but it does work on several animals. And as you can see, really sharp shots, even through glass, even through fencing. This is a very versatile lens. So overall, after having it for a year, I really highly recommend it. I think it's a great option and it's money well spent. That if you want to later, get the G Master, you can. But if you don't, this is more than enough to do portraits, weddings, you name it, video. This is a catch-all lens with great image quality and color. All the videos that you just saw were straight out of camera, no editing. The photos were edited. I used the Mastin Labs. They have a couple film film styled presets. So I like to play with those as a starting point. But I think it was fun to just take these shots and show you, a different style, a different use for the lens. And at the same time, show you the great quality and sharpness you can get out of it. So after the year, I can still highly recommend it. I'm going to continue to use it. I have no ambition to get the G Master. I know there's trade-offs, in terms of build quality. It's not a solid metal lens, although at the mount it is. I think the water sealing is decent. It's not going to be a G Master level, but it's good enough. If you're careful with it and you don't drop it like I did at the mount, you won't break it, but just keep that in mind. It is a more fragile lens because of the build, but like all photographers, you gotta get insurance, you gotta get the warranties and movement for these lenses, these investments, so you don't lose any money. And you're good with that, because if you have the coverage, even if you do break it or it doesn't repair, you're covered. So I hope you enjoyed these videos and picture samples. Just go back, look at the quality, look at the colors. I think it's a very versatile lens, and if you're having second thoughts about it, or you're contemplating getting the G Master, I mean, this is just a no-brainer lens to me. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with more content. I'm still sticking to the variety where I'm doing music, watches, reviews, photography, video, an occasional cat video, keeping it interesting. Thanks for watching.